Texas Tech Red Raider Nation. How's it going, y'all? It's Sibby, it's Shelby, and we're here. It's Seeing Scarlet. It we before we even hit record or go live, y'all, the vibes, what we have for y'all today, it's gonna be great. So I'm glad y'all are hanging out. Joined
Oh,
here with Shelby, and as Shelby's title suggests,
oh no.
oh no.
Oh no.
Wait, am I hearing oh, I'm hearing an echo and it's totally throwing me off.
I don't hear an
Yes.
echo. I don't hear an
Great.
echo, so it must be on
We're
your end.
okay.
Yeah.
Everything's fine. Everything's fine. So, as Shelby's title suggests, y'all, it is March. March Madness season is upon us. So we're gonna talk about the men. They're going dancing. They're doing the thing. Talk about the brackets overall. It's just hitting so different this year, and there's a million different things we could point to for that. But we'll get into that a little bit more. We got some professional sports, professional Red Raiders in the NWSL. We got some cool news about that. We're going to be talking softball. We talked about their matchups against OU, and we asked y'all to show up. And it was really cool to see people that did show up for that series. We had the Sooners in Lubbock, and yeah,
They
we'll
sold
talk
out all
through.
3 games.
That's awesome.
I don't think it had
So,
anything to do with us, but we'll take
I,
it.
hey, we'll take the money. We'll take
Yeah.
the money, and it's only gonna make us better in multiple ways. So, yeah, good things to see from softball, and then some recruiting news with women's basketball. I'm wrapping it up with tennis.
Yeah.
I think that's it for now. But it's such an interesting time of the year of just transition of sports, and we're already starting to get ready to talk about yeah, some of these sports that have already started conference play. So
Yeah.
I feel
We're in
like I'm catching
conference. We're in
up.
off season. We're in madness.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Everywhere.
It's everywhere. So yeah, we're gonna start with some March Madness.
Oh, you're not gonna give the people the stand up that they came here for. It's
Oh yeah,
National Make People Laugh Day, and we promised you. Well, I put it out there that said we would give y'all some stand up because I
that's
know
the
she would.
thing. I got like I this was an attack, and
Not
I
to you.
didn't notice it until like an hour before we were recording, and I'm like, I'm in 12 tweet. I have 12 notifications on my Twitter, which is a lot because I don't really bop around on there too much. So I was like, oh no, what happened? I don't.
Who did
Yeah, I'm
I piss
thinking
off
like, oh
today?
my gosh, yeah, what happened in Tech Athletics that I'm being punished for this? Yeah, I got a joke ready. Are you ready to hear
Yeah, let us know a joke.
it? Shelby,
Oh no. Is that the joke?
what
Okay.
could be? Shelby, what does a Texas Longhorn sound like?
Wah. Sorry, I don't know.
Wow, wow, wow,
That was close.
wow.
I like it.
Was it as horrific to sit through that joke as it was for me to tell it?
That was it was pretty bad, but it was at the Longhorns' expense, so I support it personally.
I looked up. I was like, "Are there Texas Tech jokes that live online, y'all?" Of course, there are. That wasn't one of them. That was an original. So
It felt
don't
original.
if you go tell that at a party, let me know. But yeah, there's a whole world of the internet that has really they have jokes. And you can decide if they're good or bad. But if you need a laugh, go there. Or Shelby.
I am just it happens. I don't tell jokes.
That's all
I
I
just
got
vibe.
though.
I'm
That's
just
the
me.
stand
Okay.
up.
All right. We appreciate it, Sibby. That was great. For the people in the comments that were waiting for that, she served.
What do you want from me? How is this the whole show? Is the
No,
stand
no,
up?
no, no. It's great.
I'll make it work.
I'm happy with it.
I
Laugh.
need
You made a Longhorn joke. That's all I need.
okay.
Madness is here though, as my little thing says. It
And
is
yeah,
my
always.
favorite holiday since I was in like
It is a
junior
holiday.
high. When people ask me what my favorite holiday is, like I would March Madness, and
You would
teachers would be
baby
like, "That's
Shelby
not a
would be
holiday,
that
Shelby." I'm
way.
like, "Yeah, it is.
Oh,
It is a holiday." So I'm excited for it.
for you.
Technically, is going on right now. I don't get as hyped for these first 4 games, but
Mm.
I'm sure they'll be crazy. We'll see. Yeah, I personally fear that this Colorado State and Virginia game that's coming up later tonight might set back the game of basketball by about 50 years. But I hope I'm wrong.
Why do you say that?
Just both their styles of play, and Virginia didn't really deserve to be in the tournament, so that probably means they'll go win the whole thing.
Yeah, way to go!
Typically.
Place your bets now.
when someone doesn't deserve to get in, they always go on a run, but just not very entertaining basketball from either of those teams.
Oh, okay,
they match up together tonight, and I'm just like,
yeah.
But anyway, Texas Tech men's basketball is in the tournament, right? It's been a couple years. They were off last year. We won't speak about that, but they're in the tournament, and they take on NC State, the school that is about 2 minutes from me right now.
Right down the road.
I live in North Carolina, for those that aren't aware. Know many people that are Wolfpack alum and friends, and so I need our guys.
Oh no, you got pressure.
I need our guys to come through for me. Can you
do it for Shelby?
Take down these frickin' Wolfpackers, because I will not hear the end of it.
Oh no, this is a big deal.
And I think it's possible. I mean, NC State is in fuego right now. They won 5 in 5 days, but you could also say maybe they're tired. But they are the hottest team coming into March, probably. Of the Power 5 teams, not the ones that have just won like 20 in a row because they're in some random conference, but like of Power 5 teams, they're probably one of the hottest teams coming in. But their defense is not great. Of the games that I've both been to in person, it's not an area they lock in on. Now it's March. They definitely did better in the ACC tournament at that. Caring defense is an effort thing, so if all of a sudden they care about defense, perhaps they'll be better. And our team typically, when we've lost games, it's been against teams that are just really good defensively, like think Iowa State, Houston. We haven't tended to struggle against teams that are more offensive minded, because we can keep up with them if their defense sucks. So that's what I'm hoping. They do have some bigs inside that concern me, so I need Warren to come back. But most, I was about to
say, is there any update on him?
McCaslin didn't sound overly confident to me on Warren Washington.
Okay.
He said he's practicing, but they said they're not going to put him out there until they're sure that he can be 100%, and they won't really know until they see him in live action. So it could be one of those things where they put him in a game, and if it goes well, yay. If not, he's just going to sit. So we'll see. They have some size inside, so maybe old EY can keep having some games because they have a couple of bigs. But I think the more important one to me is Darian Williams needs to come back. He's our best player, if we're being honest. So he was the bigger loss in the Big 12 tournament. So I'm hopeful he can come back and get it done. And then they have a fun second round matchup. On paper, our bracket is not great, right?
Okay.
Because you have the hottest team in NC State, and then you have a blue blood right after that in Kentucky. But they're also another team that's not really defensive-minded either.
Yeah.
So from that standpoint, like, we can maybe upset them. We'll see. They obviously have NBA talent all over that roster, so we'll see how we hold up. But it's not the worst draw, even though on paper it kind of, like, the names. It's not like we got, like, two random mid-major schools that we're playing in both the first and the second round. Like, you got NC State and the ACC champion, and then you have Kentucky. Yeah. Who is Kentucky. So,
right. A legend.
As far as name brands go, you'll have no problem getting up for them. So, we'll see. That one on Thursday is late. Y'all are complaining in Texas. Y'all calm down.
You're talking to a couple East Coasters. How dare you?
I'll probably be in a room full of NC State fans, I'm sure.
Oh my gosh.
It'll be fun.
You are,
we'll all be watching it. I need them to get it done for us. And then, I don't know if you have any thoughts on them.
Yeah.
Do a brief look at the women's tournament.
It's been really electric to watch them and watch them get to this point of making the tournament, because I think there were a lot of times, that I don't think was ever a concern. It just feels really part of the process and the journey for them. So I'm kind of loving, like, yes, let's take down the hottest team in the country right now. And it just, this season kind of feels like that in some way. It's like, give us what you got, and we're going to figure it out.
The underdog? I mean, we're not the Vegas underdog, but we're favored to win. But public wise, there's no doubt people are picking NC State in their bracket for sure.
Dang, yeah,
because that's like going to be a very popular pick. I think I saw today on Twitter that it's actually the most money in Vegas for a team to reach the Sweet 16 has been on NC State.
Interesting.
So like people are picking them at like plus 500 to make the Sweet 16 as like the team that can
Oh.
make them the most money or whatever because they're plus 500 and they're hot. So
Yeah.
the voting public's going to be rooting against us for sure.
Mhm.
Even though I think we're 4-point
Good.
favorites
Oh,
technically
good.
on the court. So we'll see. I've really liked what this team has done. If you had asked me a few weeks ago, I wasn't quite as confident in like what we were going to be able to put out there once Warren got hurt. But
Yeah.
ever since that West Virginia comeback, we were down like 20-6 or something early in that game,
Mhm.
and it was like, damn. And that was right after losing to UCF on the road, and it was like, man, we're just not very good without him. We just don't. I don't know what happened in that huddle. Ever since that moment, it's been a completely different team.
That's wild.
They've just completely locked in.
Oh,
on
huge
defense.
moment.
I think it was like a coach moment in that huddle that was like,
yeah, right.
yo,
What sport?
this is what I've been trying to tell y'all. Defense effing matters, and if y'all don't care about defense, that was also when the Lindsay thing happened. He was no longer with the team.
Yeah.
This is why defense matters. Y'all have to either care about defense, and we'll come back and win this game. We can not care about defense, and we won't win, and we won't do anything in March. And ever since that moment, they've been a different team defensively.
Yeah.
And so that's where we'll win. So we'll see. NC State has a really good guard. They're a really fun big, a big. That's more nimble than he looks. And I'm kind of bummed we play them because they were going to be a fun team to watch in March. But I'm sad that we're going to have to ruin their journey a little early.
I know. There's like teams that I get to watch because I have an affiliation with them, so it's fun to watch the whole tournament because usually they'll make their way. But yeah, you got two hits back to back.
It's a bummer.
Either way. But yeah, I mean, speaking of Grant, he first name basis. Speaking of old Grant,
buddy Grant.
Yeah, that's such an interesting point of that huddle and that time, and it's like, oh yeah, that just happened where we, had a very clear mission. Yeah, and Grant saying like, this is what we're doing. This is who we are, and this is what we have, to do to be successful. Sure. And yeah, buying into it a second time right before March, it's got to be, a challenging thing to navigate on top of everything else that has happened this season, and that magical vibe feels that way. And I think it's really cool to see McCaslin having the success. Right. He's not new to this format.
It's been at like the CBI. He's won the CBI. He's won the NIT.
Yeah,
I think
he's Thanos.
Someone stated this, but I think he could become the first coach to ever win all three.
He's getting like an EGOT. Yeah.
Now he's at the big one. So CBI, NIT champion. Could he be an NCAA champion?
Somebody look it up and let us know in the comments.
He's got to be one of the only person that's done that.
That's got to be. I don't know. That's really fun.
I'm gonna claim it. So it's what he does. He gets teams to play well this time of year and overachieve, so to speak, and that's what he's been doing all year. So I just need him to beat NC State, please, for personal reasons, so I can show my face with my friend group and not have to take shit. You should see the group text that I'm in right now. They are talking mad shit.
Wow. Well, good luck to you. Is there any Red Raiders near you? Just might need backup.
There is Emery Lida for the Texas Tech fans on here. Y'all know him on Texas Tech Twitter.
Cool.
We've never met. I don't know him. He's a student at UNC, I believe.
Oh, cool.
So he's in the area.
Okay, right down the road. Yeah.
Yeah. He's a grad student up there, from what I've gathered. So yeah, there's some. They exist here.
That's really
North
cool.
Carolina with me.
Yeah.
No, not my friend group. So.
Not fully alone.
All right. So that's men's basketball. Stay tuned for them, y'all. Hopefully next week when we're doing this, we're talking about them headed to the Sweet 16.
Oh my gosh.
Ready for a Sweet 16
madness.
That means they beat Kentucky on Saturday.
Why not?
Beat them on Saturday. Let's make it happen. Let's do it. That would be that's a big time success if they make the Sweet 16 this year. So we're already playing with house money where we are. So quickly, what are your favorite women's basketball storylines? Or do you want me to go first?
My God. What are not my favorite women's basketball storylines, y'all? Shelby and I were talking about this before we started recording. It's just, there are so many different stories on so many different teams, and we're getting to watch all of it collide right now. So I love the hype for the women's basketball tournament this season. It definitely feels like it's grown every year, and we can point to so many things that have improved this tournament. Like, I'm remembering last year when the women's tournament, like Sedona Prince was showing the weightlifting situation. That may have been like 2 or
Oh, it was
3
a while
years
ago.
ago.
Yeah.
And to see where it is now, I mean, like Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, the list goes on. South Carolina, the stories are endless, and I can't wait to see that magic happen too. But yeah, you were talking about some really spicy
Yeah.
matchups
My
that are
favorite
already
storylines are just they're all in the Albany regional. A lot of people are talking about it because like there are some really good teams. And there's like I would say 6 legit teams that can make in the
contenders.
Elite 8.
Yeah.
But they're all in the same region.
Yeah.
So like just the way it happened for whatever reason. But most of all, it's more about the matchups and the committee. They yammer on about metrics and the S curve and all these no. They put this bracket together for TV ratings because you have a potential. This was their best chance to get a potential LSU Iowa rematch. That's why this happened. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise.
Shelby's on it.
They're worried that Iowa won't make it to the Final Four, or they're worried that LSU won't make it to the Final Four. So what's the best chance to get the world, the Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark rematch is to put them in the same region and hope they match up. Now, they didn't give them the easiest pass to get there.
Sure.
But there's only so many spots you can put them. So that's one that you're looking forward to. If those 2 teams make it all the way to that Elite 8 matchup is what it would be. That's what the country's been asking for since that happened.
True.
Because there's this fake beef on the internet. I don't actually think there's any beef between Reese and Caitlin. Like,
drop it.
Beef. Like they're, they're just hoopers. But
they probably
like in sports.
Yeah, they're texting each other, probably being like,
did you see the stupid meme that was made about me?
Anyway, come over. I have ice cream, or like whatever the fuck.
Like they'll be playing on like Team USA and stuff together. Like it's anyway.
You remember the old days
in sports. It's good for the game, honestly.
True.
I don't like when people cross the line and get racist or disrespectful with it, but the rivalry part is good for sports. So
tell them.
I'm all for it. It's like Magic Johnson, Larry Bird.
Totally. It's we watch movies about this. Yeah,
it's good. So I hope that matchup happens. But LSU has to get through UCLA, who's good. And then most of all, LSU has to get through Louisville. So the Elite Eight's down the road, but there's a second round matchup in this region that the TV the committee knew exactly what they were doing. If LSU and Louisville both win, you get to see Haley Van Lith go against her old team, Louisville. That was a big shocker in the portal last year. She left as a star to go join and make this super team, and LSU
the super
was a big
monsters.
Talk, and, Louisville is hoping to get revenge there, so they won't talk about it that way, but
that's how we'll be talking about it.
The world knows. So
and
I'm excited for that one. I hope it comes. I mean, I think Middle Tennessee is who Louisville has, which is no slouch. So they both have to get through their first rounds to make it happen, but I hope they do. And then Iowa could rematch with Kansas State. Big 12 fans are familiar with them. Kansas State split with Iowa in the regular season. They played each other twice.
Wow.
And they've already beaten once, lost once. So there's fun, that whole region. South Carolina is probably the easy favorite, but they even have to play UNC in the second round, most likely. And UNC played South Carolina decently, I think, during the regular season. So there's a lot of fun matchups. I think it's not going to be as chalk as it usually is, I hope.
Right.
I think there's some first round upset possibilities some 12s, maybe some 13s that could do some damage this year, which would be big seeds for the women's team. So I'm excited. It's the most excited I've been for the women's tournament, probably since last year. Like these last 2 years have been really good. Yeah. Before it was always like, you can turn into the women's tournament like
at the end
next week, next weekend,
Yep.
Because these first round games are just always so dominant. But these last couple of years, it's becoming madness. So
excited. Yeah, matching the name in multiple ways. I remember when I first started filling out brackets and somebody said something like, it's just chalk it up. It's whatever. And I don't even know what that means. And he's like, just pick the number 1 seed on all of it. And I'm like, well, damn, he wasn't wrong. You know what I mean? And it'll
probably still be pretty chalk by the time you get to the Final Four, but it used to be
to see the growth.
Younger, I mean, it was like the 4 number 1 seeds every year made the Final Four. Maybe a
UConn
sneak in there, and that was like big news. So, but it's not that way anymore. So I'm excited to see some upsets this year.
That'll be cool. Yeah. Did you want to post or play that clip of McCaslin before we move forward?
No, we're good.
Okay, cool. But yeah, I think there's so many different storylines of the women's tournament, so it should be fun. I haven't looked at much of it at all because my Texas Tech Red Raiders aren't in there, so don't
Fair,
care.
that's fair.
But
We'll talk about that here in a bit.
yeah,
Preview.
we'll I mean, yeah, as this tournament goes on, it'll be hype.
All right, let's get into something I know you were paying attention to. So I'm gonna let you take over. I'll key the videos when we get there, but we have some fun NWSL. That is the Pro Soccer League. For those that aren't familiar somehow, but we had some fun Red Raider news happening. All sorts of news on the ownership level, the player level, the rookie level.
I know it was a time for soccer to come alive. The NWSL season just started, so that means we have multiple Red Raiders to watch. One of them being Janine Becky, who she was around when we were in college. So it's like one of us. But Janine, there's such a powerful story to her, and Shelby, we'll get into that at some point. But she is coming back from injury. This is her comeback season, y'all. So the season kicked off, I think, was it Saturday? This last Saturday, and
something like that. Feels right.
Yeah, we have her to look forward to, and just watch this strike. She's on the Portland Thorns, so they're down.
This is her second goal of the game, I believe.
Second goal. She got a brace. Yeah, hit that clip.
Becky.
Oh
my! Janine Becky.
Yeah.
With an absolute rocket into the back of the net. We're not done yet.
What a goal this is from Janine Becky, her second of the game.
I mean,
absolutely brilliant. I think the best goal of the game. I like the Sophia Smith
ricochet.
Goal. Touch out of her feet. The Rosé maybe could have brought her down, but she had to let her go. Great first touch, and look at that.
How close that was from the outside post.
No chance in that situation.
Red Raider, y'all.
Brilliant.
If you're unaware, she is one of us. She is Canadian. She plays on the Canadian national team, and she's been out. I think it was ACL. One of the many that were hit with ACL last year, so she had to miss the World Cup. But she's a superstar. She's a superstar, worldwide superstar, and that's a Red Raider. So she's back, and just to come back and get 2 goals. Like her first goal was a nice goal, but this was a world-class goal.
This was a shining,
absurd.
This is what she's known for. This was what made her so lethal in college. So to only see her continue to perform like this, and the success she's had on Canada's national team and with the Thorns, it's so hyped to see in the first game of the season. So yeah, good to see that Red Raider continuing to be
Olympics, y'all.
Right around the corner. But yeah, that was a good first clip. Good job, Janine.
Good job.
And yeah, then we have 2 other Red Raiders that have made the roster. Yeah, which is, I mean, the competition, I can't even imagine what that feels like, what they've gone through to get to this moment. But
26 players, I think, make the roster.
Yeah, and super competitive, because there's so many legends that play in the NWSL. And so to add to the list, Hannah Anderson and Alex Kerr, 1-year contract, huge news. So they both had their debut as rookies on the roster. And I think what's really cool too of seeing what I have been from following the professional accounts is like Hannah Anderson, this legend of Texas Tech soccer, gets to play with other legends. Alyssa Nair, the most iconic goalkeeper, we could say. I mean, we could talk about that forever, but
absurd.
That if she, amazing. And so thinking of a possibility of Hannah, playing center back, like right in front of a legend like Alyssa Nair, it's just so hype. And Alex Kerr with Martha, the list goes on. And I think it's so.
It's
cute.
Just crazy because like they're practicing with them, and that they're trying to keep them like be professional about it.
Yeah,
practice, and
they're fangirling.
Like, imagining they're like fangirling in their brains, like, oh my god, that's freaking Alyssa Nair.
For real.
Like someday we'll get them on the show again, maybe when they have downtime or something, and ask them those things. But
it'll be fun.
That has to be like a weird. Okay, I gotta go for. I wonder how. I'm sure it doesn't take too long, but like there's got to be like a transition for like, okay, I've met them, now they're just my teammate kind of vibes.
Oh,
but,
I
like,
know.
That first meeting's got to be.
I think about that so often. Yeah,
and first time Hannah's in practice and Alyssa Nair's yelling at her, like.
But I don't know who would be saluting who, like.
Well, I think we know in this case. Give her some time. Give her
I'm
some
saying my
time,
Texas Tech Raider is like,
yeah. No, I saw Hannah.
That's our
I had that
captain.
game on. I had people over that night because
Cool.
the NC State, before I knew they were playing us, they were playing UNC in the championship for the ACC. So I had some friends over to watch it, and that game was going on at the same time. And so before the ACC championship started, I saw that it was happening. I was like, hold up, guys, we're going to put this on until it starts. And so she didn't play, but I saw her vibing on the sidelines a few times, dancing to some music. It seems like a fun team, so I'm excited to see. I'm sure her and Alex both will get into a game and get to have their debuts maybe this week. Maybe the game, I don't know if you saw it, but on March 29th, I believe, check the schedule, Alex Kerr and the Orlando Pride play at Chicago.
Let's go.
So you should plan to go to that game.
I gotta go to that one. Okay, thanks for the the heads up.
It's not too long for now. So
it's not
next week.
Yeah, gotta plan it now.
There you go. And one other bit of news. I'll keep the video, but let them know what our boy Patrick Mahomes and Brittany Mahomes did.
Yeah, no kidding. Brittany Mahomes, I think this is a lot of her work and her passion, and it's really cool to see Patrick Mahomes supporting her in that. You know, they have two different identities, but Patrick Mahomes, our guy, like, he is such a Red Raider for life. So I think that's the connection here, why we're talking about it. But also, Casey's Kansas City Current NWSL team, huge news about their stadium built for the women's team. And they had their opening day in their new stadium. And sometimes it's like, wow, like, let's get some Red Raiders on that team so that we can go visit this stadium. But it's cool to see him supporting her in this, and the hype that he has here. It's like so Patrick. So hit this clip and you'll see.
Hey, we're here. We did it. I just want to say thank you guys for showing up today. This is history. This is incredible. And for you guys to show up for these women in their own stadium is amazing.
Kansas City, I heard y'all can make some noise out there. So on the count of three, we're getting the loudest KC baby chant they've ever heard. 1, 2, 3, KC! Let's go!
That's our guy.
I'd say they're ready, Leanne.
And that stadium that you're looking at is the one that we were talking about last week that the Big 12 tournament is going to be in. Next year. So maybe we'll make a Seeing Scarlet trip to that stadium.
We should.
I'm still confused on whatever. I won't get into that. They're claiming it's the first ever stadium built for just one.
That's
team,
what I was careful about what I said.
The 120 minutes for me was just the NC Courage before the men's team moved in. So technically, it was built. Wake Med was built for just the women's team, but the men's team does play in it now.
Maybe they came in after. Maybe they needed to have that more clear.
Yeah,
it's like
but
the first.
It
was built for women
idea.
First, and
maybe
then
it was planned that in 2 years the men's team was going to come in, and so it was built for both of them. I don't know.
That's
and this one was solely built just for the women's team, which is cool. So
okay, well,
I'm not taking any shade away from them, but just the wording on it, I'm like, I know there has to be another one, but it is hype. It is
so hype.
It's a really nice stadium.
It's beautiful. Really nice. It's right next to the river too. So like if there are people listening that like love going to ballparks and love the aesthetics and stuff like that, that is a great stadium to put on your list. I got to drive by it when it was in construction, and I was like, oh, you get to see like this bridge, the river, and I can envision people like being in kayaks in the river for like soccer balls that get kicked over the net.
Like the San Francisco Giants?
Yes. Yeah. I was like, there's a baseball team that has that too. And I can tell I'm going to do that.
Does that happen often? Do balls get kicked out of the stadium?
I mean, sometimes if you launch one, you launch one. And I mean, if there's a kayaker that does every home game, they're gonna have a ball.
Yeah. Let's do it.
But yeah, super hype. And yeah, love seeing that support, and Patrick Mahomes just continuing to be one of my proudest like Red Raiders that's out and doing their thing. He's up there on the list.
He's just a fan. He's doing it.
He is.
Like
he
you
is
said, this
just
is
a
more
fan.
Brittany Mahomes' project, but they own it together. So he's in on it. And his platform. He uses his platform for good. There, both of them do. So
totally.
Love it. If you get to a game, would love to see a Red Raider on that team sometime.
No kidding. Yeah.
We've got a few coming
on
up.
all
we'll
teams.
talk about that down the line, but we got some fun ones on the team now. So
Sure.
moving on to
Let's do it.
softball, who played number one.
Number one.
I know pro softball's still trying to find its footing, but there's a lot of them. on this OU team that Texas Tech played this past weekend, and they got swept. Which, guys, if you're unaware, everybody gets swept by Oklahoma. They've lost.
It's an entry pass.
4 total Big 12 games since 2016. They've only lost 4 times in the Big 12 play
since 2016.
Yeah, it's wild. So the sweeping part was not really that big of a surprise. However, I will say I thought we played them pretty well in the first and the third game. The second game got away from us. We gave up like 12 runs in the first inning.
It was tough.
But we did bounce back. I think we only allowed 3 the rest of the way. But we weren't really ever in that game because of that first inning. We just let it get away from us. But the first and the third game, we were kind of there. Right, for a good bit, for a few innings, and that's solid.
What you like to
and
see,
we scored runs. So
I know.
We haven't scored against OU in like 3 years. Like, that's how good OU is at softball and how much we are coming up, right?
Yeah.
We legit have not scored a run in like 7 games coming into the series, and so then we didn't score in the... Did we score in the first game? I don't think we did.
I'll have to pull up the stats.
Anyway, whatever that run was, we scored. Was the first time we had done it in like 7 or 8 games. So
damn,
that's a positive. There were things to build on. It feels weird saying that. We still have pitching depth issues, y'all. Like we haven't shied away from that. That's just the truth. And so when you play a team like that, you can have a few good innings, but then you die out late.
Lose
it. What
mm-hmm.
happened is OU had these huge inning late. This huge inning in the first game that makes that score look really bad. But they scored like 8 runs or something in the 7th inning. It was 6-0 at that point, right? 6-0 would have been a respectable score. They score 8, and now it's like 14-0 or something.
Right.
So that's where it gets away from you.
Yep.
Second game got away from you in the first inning, but you learned some things. They had to throw in McKenna Mitchell, who's a freshman pitcher.
Yeah.
And that's McKenna Mitchell. Third base. Sorry.
Third base.
They had to put in Mimi Blackledge, who is a pitcher and had only pitched like 3 innings all year. We kind of thought she'd be a piece to this rotation early, and we saw her in a couple of games, and then we just never saw her again.
Yeah.
But they had to throw her in there. They didn't have an option because our starter gave up 12 runs or maybe 9 runs in that first inning. She comes in there and she gave up 3 in the first inning, getting out of it. But then she had 3 scoreless innings in a row.
Yeah.
I was really impressed by that. So for a freshman, OU didn't have a scouting report, and that's part of it. But they're still the best hitters in the country, and you're putting a freshman out there.
Yeah.
And she was throwing strikes. Because our problem with our starter was we weren't throwing strikes. Keely was having trouble getting strikes. The umpire wasn't helping her, but that's life. And we were walking a bunch of people, and then they were hitting bombs, or they were getting balls to the gap, and we just couldn't get an out in that first inning, and it just
really took a toll.
But you have to put in a new pitcher at that point just to change something, and we hadn't really used a lot of pitchers lately. And so you put this freshman out there, and she at one point threw 3 scoreless innings in a row.
It's hype.
Which was really impressive. So that's something to build on for sure from her in that second game. And in the first game, I mentioned McKenna Mitchell. We can show her video in a second, but she was another freshman that stepped up because Riley Love, our star third baseman, unfortunately was sick, I believe is what
I know.
It was
we gotta
in that first game. That first game, you never know. There was a couple times we had the bases loaded in that first game.
For real, it looked good.
And Riley would have been up to bat, and she just wasn't playing. So like you never know how that first game would have went. Could have been closer. But Mitchell was really big in the field. She had 3 really impressive defensive plays.
For real.
We have one of them in here. And this is not even the most impressive.
It was
play,
really.
But it was just the one that they posted on social, so it's the one we have for you. But she deserves her shine because to be put in that spot for Love,
Riley Love,
All-American,
out of her mind,
out of her mind. Off the glove of Mitchell, she has time and delivers. And McKenna Mitchell with a Golden Glove at third sends us to the bottom of the second.
And she had 2 or 3 plays in the same inning.
Oof.
And the other
Hard
way,
hit,
off the glove of Mitchell, she has time and delivers.
So that's
and McKenna Mitchell with a Golden Glove at third sends us to...
So you got a little bit of a glimpse of some of the future.
For real.
That was good to see from her. So shout out our freshman. Jennings had a really good play. I think that if I remember that first game, there was we held them to 1 run in the first inning, and it was stopped. It should have been 2, but it was a great relay throw from our center fielder, freshman Logan Holloman, into our second baseman, freshman Reagan Jennings, into the catcher at home, and we threw him out of the plate. So there was good moments from some young players mixed with our seniors later on in the series. So that's kind of where I was at. You just got to pick and choose and like, okay, that was something to grow on. Our pitching is what it is. They'll be fine once they get into more different games as we'll go forward. But we just don't have the depth of the pitching to like hold up in these games if we're not putting up runs against a team. Everybody in OU's lineup hits over 400.
That's
Every single person.
They are just
hits over 400.
so
It's
dominant.
absurd.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was them. We had a number of good defensive plays, though. Another one in here, Ariana Villa Pecan. She had a little bit of a Spider-Man play on Sunday, I believe it was.
That's right, yeah. Oh my
He
gosh.
smashes one to left. And it's caught!
Let's
Villa
go.
glides with the wall.
And
As
She
Jada
almost
Coleman
threw it
comes
over.
to
almost out at second. Oh my gosh.
He
She ripped
smashes
it.
one to left. And it's caught! Villa glides with the wall.
Love that. So she does
Dang.
a lot of that. She makes plays out there. Abby Orr
does.
had a number of plays at short. We now lead the nation, or at least we did this weekend at the time of that game, in double plays turned. A lot of
yeah.
that is because of Abby and Reagan Jennings there in short and second, turning them. So
Good point.
defense is looking better than last year. Like, these are progress moments that we saw for sure.
Mhm.
And then the biggest progress moments that we saw is we scored runs.
I
Like,
know.
so we just hadn't scored runs at all. And
It
then
was so good.
Pecan
yeah.
got that streak broken. She hit a solo shot in like the first inning of the second game 2, I believe it was.
Yeah.
Kaylee Wyckoff hit a solo shot in that game as well. She's
Yeah,
really
fourth inning.
hitting it well. It was a no-doubter. She almost had a big one in that
Yeah,
Sunday game. I think the
she
bases were loaded,
did.
and she
Oh,
got a hold of one.
she was ready. Yeah.
She got a hold of one at some point in that game, and it went to the warning track. So that could have changed the game, but she's swinging it well. So we scored runs, which is good. You just have to, which I'm not worried about this team. They're really good with their mentals, but that's just one of those series that you just got to take it for what it is.
That's what. Yeah.
Pull what you can out of it and be like, cool, learn this, learn that. All right, let's go take on Iowa State. Like,
Yes,
that's just
yes.
what you gotta do against OU. It's not the season. It's just like, oh, it is what it is. We play well in some games, not in others. That's how it goes. Let's move on from it.
That's a really good point. Yeah, I keep thinking about that too. And I remember even thinking like, I don't want them to get run ruled, just scoreless this whole series. Like that would be a bummer. But like outside of that, that was my only like this is what I don't want to see. But it's such a tall order to go against this absolute powerhouse of a program. I mean, to score the runs and to have some of those defensive plays like you talked about. I love that. I hope that's what they're carrying into their next games because it was good.
A lot of runs.
Yes, it was good to see.
Would have gotten last year against us for sure. Because I think our pitching depth was better last year, and so our scores were a little closer. But our defense was not as good, and we weren't able to score. So give and take. But Maddie Wright has been impressive in the circle.
Maddie Wright has been
looked great against OU, but like she had good innings. That if she does that against the rest of the teams and most of the rest of the teams in the Big 12 will get wins.
Yeah,
and I think Maddie Kill will bounce back. It was just a tough one for her. She struggled with her command and her confidence a little bit, and that happens against OU. And the umpire was not helping her at all. So
I could hear.
She looks like a star pitcher. She has the build and all that. So she's just putting it together up here, and she'll get back out there and do some things this week against Iowa State. But seeing Mimi Blackledge go out there, maybe she can give us some promising innings now with Willis and Rains that have been coming out of the pen as well. Get another person. If you got nothing else from the OU series, but learn like, hey, maybe we have a little bit of a backup third baseman in McKenna Mitchell, and we have Mimi Blackledge that can give us some innings. Like that's a win to me. Took that, learned that. Let's
Thank you.
on.
Yeah.
That's stuff you need to learn. So. We'll see. Iowa State's not an easy matchup, but it is easier than OU. They've played some.
True.
They got swept by OU as well, but I think they might have put some runs up on OU. I don't know. You'd have to look at the scores, but they won the series this past weekend with Houston, who played Texas pretty tight in their series. So I think Houston was receiving votes prior to the Iowa State series, and Iowa State took care of them. So they're not an easy team. They can hit pretty good. Hopefully we can hit against them and have some better weather. Hopefully it's not cold up there. The weather this weekend in Lubbock was not kind to us either. So
it's pretty
that
brutal.
was not fun, but
the
fans are showing up anyway. But
Yeah, I agree. I think what they were able to learn and take into Iowa State, it's like I'm almost grateful that this was so early in the season. The series was so early in the season to take that time to learn and move forward. So yeah, they have Iowa State on Friday at 4 p.m., then Saturday the 23rd at 1 p.m., and then Sunday 24th
Yeah.
at lunch.
Oh my gosh.
Noon.
I'll be March Madness in, but I'm gonna find a way to watch. Don't you worry.
Well, I mean, are you a multiple TV, setup kind of
Well, I
March
used
Madness?
to be, but YouTube TV has added. You can
Oh,
watch 4 games at once now, so I
okay.
don't need it for
Is
March
that
Madness. I can just
enough?
watch 4 games at once, but I can use my computer to watch softball. So
Okay.
we'll monitor.
You gotta
My
figure it
schedule
out.
is clear. Ain't working for the next starting on Thursday.
I love
Cleared
this
it.
for
Been
you.
planning. I mean, I'm
love
obviously
this
my
for
own boss
you.
anyway, but
I know.
I still have to work, y'all. I can't just be like, I'm taking these days off. Like, I have to plan for it and make sure that I'm capable and ahead on my work and stuff to be
Yes,
able to do
that's
it. And I've been
some
planning for it for
boss babe
months.
material.
So
You're doing
I've been
great.
sitting on the couch. Sometimes people will be over when they get off work. They'll come over, but I'll just be
No
there
way.
all day, every day.
They don't even
coming and
ask.
going.
They just show
Yeah,
up,
they
and
just
you're like,
literally. Here's a question
You're
on
doing it right.
softball that just came in. We'll answer it.
yeah,
What happened to Sage? She's talking about Sage Hoover.
Yeah.
It came out right before the season that she was unfortunately going to be redshirting this year. Medical
bummer.
redshirt is what it's deemed. I don't know the details. They don't put it out there. I'm not going to pry. But some sort of injury happened, it seems, right before the season, which is a bummer for her, mostly for the team, mostly. She would have been a nice piece to this team, but the good news is she'll get healthy and still have 2 years remaining when she comes back next year. So, yeah, that didn't help matters on the pitching depth either. But they've been without her since before the season. She hasn't pitched all year, so that's not new news to the team. They've been trying to figure it out, but that is definitely a piece that they're missing, unfortunately.
yeah.
But go send Sage
tough to see.
send her some love if you see her on social.
Yeah,
she's still
great.
posting and stuff.
Her interview, that was great, and then it was kind of a bummer to see, but knowing that she's still making an impact, and we'll see her soon. So
We will.
Cool. Where do you want to go next? What do you want to talk about next?
I guess women's basketball. For people
Let's do
watching live, if you have any questions, you can ask them. But to summarize some of the questions we've gotten all week, obviously the news came out yesterday that Saga Ukkonen has entered her name into the transfer portal. The portal opened yesterday, on Monday. Like 400 players have entered it already. It's wild. I don't like that more? It happens
than usual
in the tournament, but
is it more than usual? Like
I don't
that
know.
many?
It feels more than usual, but I don't know. It just feels
Right.
like a lot. Like
yeah.
Like,
whoa, that's a lot of
that's
people.
A lot of people.
Yeah, trying to find a new place.
Yeah. And so we're big Saga fans. You're not gonna get any.
We're big. All of their fans.
So
yeah. Find your fit.
We love them all. So I'm obviously on one hand like bummed. Selfishly, I'm bummed, but for her sake, I want her to go somewhere that she can be a star on the team, a big rotation player.
Definitely
maybe
capable.
March Madness herself somewhere.
Yeah.
Maybe a mid-major school. I don't know. Not hold her back. Go wherever she thinks she can play. She can shoot. She'll find a spot, and we'll be fans of her for life. She did her work. Like that whole Lady Raider for life thing, people throw that around, but like to me, she's still considered that, even though she's choosing to go elsewhere for her final year because of what she gave the program and what she's done behind the scenes and seemingly everything we've heard and from the outside looking in has always been a good leader, even when she wasn't like getting the playing time. She's kind of been the epitome of Lady Raider basketball, is what the coaching staff said, and like practice and stuff, and that's admirable. But at the same time, like you can't blame a player for wanting to use their final year of eligibility.
Go
somewhere and they can play more. So I'm all for it. Actually, selfishly, I want her to be here, but I'm also like as a fan of her, I'm like, I don't know. I saw that news. I was like, okay, good.
I understand.
Like, I was kind of like happy for her at the same time. So I can't wait to see where she ends up.
I think too, a reminder when I think we covered this last season, but her dad like coming to watch her play and was like cowboyed out. Apparently, like that's him, I know. And it's like they are Red Raiders for life. The dad is committed. It all makes sense. So yeah, Saga, good luck to you. Find your fit.
Yeah.
Do your thing, and we're always gonna be
fans for life of Saga.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fans for life. But yeah, that's the only news we have on that. We're not a place that I know people love to speculate on the portal and we'll do the speculation on the side of like when we see players that we think would fit on our team, like hey, that like we did last year, but we're not gonna speculate about our own players. Like that's it's their future.
That ain't us.
So we'll report that news as we have it. No one else is in the portal other than Jazzy and Jackson, who was announced weeks ago. So that's not new news, but we'll see how it plays out. What did happen, though, is some fun recruiting news this week.
I know.
If you are unaware, the Lady Raiders made the top 10 for class of 2025 Bella Hines from New Mexico. She's the number 1 player in the state of New Mexico.
Dude.
The 31st player in the nation.
Dude.
Her handle is Saucy Bella, and that's how she plays. She's saucing them up out there. Like, she is fun to watch play basketball. I've seen her highlights are all over social media all the time.
No way.
And we've been in on her for a while because she's from New Mexico. So.
Right there.
But a lot of big schools have come in of late as she's risen up the ranks. So she's
Makes
got
sense.
offers from all the big schools. She's narrowed it down to 10. We're in that top 10, which is always fun to see.
Yo.
And it's a good sign that there's good respect for our staff and
Right.
program, despite a tough year, you know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
if that gives some fans some calmness, you know what I mean?
Shelby, you are this, like, for any Red Raiders listening, when you feel panicked, just listen to Shelby. It is so nice because I've been in moments.
We don't really know, you know what I mean? Like, we're not.
I know, like, that's the
program,
thing.
Like,
it's like,
if you read the tea leaves, like if there's, you know what I mean? Like, a player wouldn't be like putting their name out in
Right.
top 10. Like, all these. We're actually in 3 different players' top 10s or 8s. For
I know.
Top 30 players in the nation. 3 different
Huge-
ones in
huge
2025 have us in their top 10. And Bella Hines now. Aaliyah Chavez, obviously the Lubbock native, superstar, number 1 overall. And then a really fun one that I really want to have on our team. We'll see if she does. Avery Jumstead from Oklahoma. I've been a big fan of her since we covered her in the summer when we first had her on campus as an unofficial. I think she's going to be a superstar. She's not as real hyped as some of the other ones, but she's still a top 30 player and is a straight up shooter and a hooper and a hard worker. So
yeah,
we've talked many a time about Aaliyah Chavez. Y'all know that person. She is one of the hardest workers you will ever see in this game.
Yeah,
and she is a straight up hooper as well. So, and there's we might be in other people's top 10s, but I don't know if anyone else is announced. But we're in on a lot of people in that class. So
I know. Yeah,
these coming months will be fun to watch how the class of 2025 starts shaping up.
Yeah, it's really exciting to see, and just such a whole other part of the ecosystem of college basketball. So to know, like, Krista Gerlich and what she's all about and what challenges that have plagued this team from the jump, before the jump, and now seeing, okay, people are still, I mean, believing in this, obviously, but it's just refreshing to see the different players that are showing interest and the top talent that are still wanting to come and play for the Double T. It's a refreshing, hopeful thing, but also, just part of it.
Powerful, right? Hope is powerful.
Yeah.
And so that's all we can do at this point is trust. And I think everyone knows that we need to have, I think we need to jump up a couple of rungs on the ladder next year since we slipped down a rung this year. You could say that rung was cut out from under us.
Yeah.
Truth, but it still happens. So I think it's an important offseason ahead. I'm excited to see what they do. They have at least 3 spots to work with now. And I'm assuming you'll see those filled via the portal or JUCO, which we do have 2 official offers out in the last week or so on 2 fun JUCO players that would fit the exact needs we need to get. We have to go get out and get some sort of playmaking point guard, take the pressure off of these young guards, and we absolutely need to get a big. So Jordan Merritt, so on and so forth, can play in their more natural spots and do what they do. We have to get one. And obviously, if fans are saying that, these coaches, this is what they do for a living. They're not stupid, y'all, despite what some people like to think. That's what they're out there recruiting. They offered Panaya Davis from New Mexico Junior College, who was recently named an All-American. She has had interest from programs as big as UConn, I've seen.
Okay.
Has shown interest in her. I don't know if they've offered her, but they've been in touch. She's going to keep getting offers from big schools during this junior college tournament that's coming up next week. She's 6'6". She's a center. More of a traditional center. Doesn't really shoot threes or anything, but she's going to be in the lane. But she can move. She's athletic. She's not like can't get up and down the court like old school center.
Okay.
She's not a new school center in the sense that she's going to get out and shoot threes.
Right.
But she can still move. And she can guard guards when she gets on them. 13.7 points per game, 10.6 rebounds per game, and 3.1 blocks per game.
Hey.
Only a freshman as well.
Oh, okay. Let's
So,
go.
We
Come
offered
through.
her officially, and she's one I'm confused on because technically she could go back to junior college next year. So I don't know what her plan is.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not sure. I've heard two different things on that she's planning to go back to school next year and is just going to field offers and get better and then leave, or she's going to make the jump. So for our sake, she would be an impact player next year based on what I've been told and seen in the limited film. It's still a jump up from the JUCO level, but I'm not like saying she's going to be an All-American. But we obviously don't have that type of player. We have some injured players that are at that size. You know, and JoJo and Achal, and if they can rehab, and let's do it. But it's hard to. It feels unfair to those players to put that pressure on them as well. So I expect them to go get somebody. She's only offered. The other one is Ivana Krajina from Odessa College. She is a sophomore. She's going somewhere next year, and she's going to be at a Power 5 program.
Okay.
Lots of interest. I've heard old buddies up at Oklahoma are interested in her. Maybe offered her as well. We officially offered her, and from someone that I trust, not anyone on the coaching staff, but someone in that world, very knowledgeable in basketball, has seen her play 3 or 4 times. And in his words, she's an absolute take if she is interested in all. And this was before we offered her.
Wow.
We've since offered her.
Yeah.
And so I trust him that he knows what's up. He's been around the block, so I trust what he's saying there. I've watched a couple of her games while sanding the last couple of weeks since I knew. I actually saw her and Panaya played against each other.
Oh, cool.
Recently. And she turns it over a little bit more than I like for my liking, but she still has more assists than turnovers. She's their point guard, but they just play fast. So that's a good thing and a bad thing. One,
I see.
She's used to that. They press the whole game, just like we do. So she's not going to be a scheme fit issue. She'll come here knowing that. So that gives me comfort. But also when you play that fast, you open yourself up to turnovers. So she might have games where she has like 6 turnovers, but she has 10,
12.
Assists.
Yeah.
So while she is turning over a little bit more than you'd like to see, it's at the JUCO level. You never know. So that's the only part of her game. I'm like, the rest of it, especially this person I trust. Like, and I've seen her. She's smooth. She's from Bosnia and I don't remember, in Europe. She's from Europe. She's a typical European player, very fundamentally sound. She has long arms. She's 5'10". She fits our system. I would be. She shoots it. She's a shooter. Shoots it over 35% from 3. Average 18.3 points per game, 4 assists, 4 rebounds, and 2.6 steals.
Dang.
She's going to be a fun one and is probably going to get a lot of attention next week. Both of these players made the JUCO version of March Madness that starts next week. And that's when a lot of them get a lot of their offers, because that's when a lot of them get seen by a lot of D1 coaches, because D1 coaches are coaching during the year. They can't get to these JUCO games, right? But if their seasons are finished, and that's when the JUCO tournament doesn't start until March 27th. So by that point, you're pretty deep into the tournament. March Madness, a lot of teams are done by then, so on and so forth. Anyway, she's going to get a lot of offers, so is Panaya. But we got to hope.
Come on.
Hope.
Yeah.
If you're listening, both of those would fit needs. Point guard.
That's the truth.
She would complement Jazzy and Bailey very, very well and take the pressure off Bailey having to bring it up all the time. Not that Bailey can't do that at times when needed. Great, but not to have to do it all the time. So, and I'm sure there's plenty of fun ones in the portal as well. Trust me, the names in the portal right now are absurd. I'm not even going to get into that.
I know. It's like we'll be here for hours.
But I'm going to let the madness shake out before I waste time on that, because there's so many names. But there's plenty of options out there, and this staff is going to go to work and bring in the right people. They have to. I think they've learned that lesson. We got to get people that fit the scheme and can play, and just expect injuries to happen. You know what I mean? Like, we need everybody to be able to play our type of basketball and have that identity. And I think both these players, from what I understand, would fit that scheme. Which is a good sign. So we'll see if we get one of them, 1 or 2 of them. If you get both,
all of them,
There's plenty of options in the portal as well. But there's your recruiting news for the people asking.
I love that. Yeah, and it's so interesting to think about it too. Of fitting a lot of the needs that we have for this team, and when everybody's in their place where they do play. And I was reading about Bailey playing out of position. I was reading a different perspective of that, and I'm like, that is so true and so exciting too to see of like what type of potential they have, like of an immediate impact on this team, and given like what our setup looks like right now and where we succeed and where Coach Gerlich wants it to go. And it feels like it feels like it's a, I don't know, it's a really special time, I think, for this program. And I know that the end of the season didn't end up
time.
We're turning the corner, and we're I think ready for this, and being like offering these players and being in these top 8s, top 10s, or whatever, MySpace. It kind of makes me think of MySpace. Top whatevers. I know that's why I got Seeing Scarlet Grandma on my title. But to see all of that, it honestly, it gives me such a new level of respect for our coaching staff. Of they are what they're about, and from what we can see, and the future players of this program are going to know that. And I think that's really hyped to see from that perspective too. So
busy months ahead. We'll report on it. All I care about is they just go find their players. That's all I want to see.
Find your fit.
I don't care if they
everybody
play at the freaking Ozarks rainforest in Antarctica. Like, they do this for a living. They're experts. They're talent evaluators. This is what they do, right?
Yeah.
If they see a player on tape that can play at this level, and then they talk to them and they fit the culture, which I think is important. We need to make sure they're a culture fit.
Yeah.
Go get them. I don't care. Like, I just want to have players that you talked about the Bailey thing. I don't know what you read, but like, I just want us to look at our players this year that we have returning. The team's the only one that really knows that. Whoever is returning, right? They'd be like, this is what they do best. They do best here, and this player does
not
best
here. Yeah.
This player does best here. Oh no, we have these 2 spots or these 3 spots that we don't have anybody that excels well. I don't care who they are. Go get them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's probably ignorance on me, but that's what I want to see this offseason. I don't want a carbon copy of a player we already have. I want to use those spots to fill this spot so that Bailey and Jazzy and Jordan, Kyla can play in their natural spots and do what they do best. And I'm that's what they're doing. You can see that by who they're going after. So that's what I look forward to. And I think that's how they'll use their offseason. They got plenty of options. I don't envy them at all. I don't know how you navigate the portal in this world with so many options and be like, okay, do you go after people now? Or like, do we wait and see who else is going to enter? Like, it's a weird world we're in right now. But there's plenty of players out there that are looking for homes.
True.
Plenty.
Yeah.
And we'll see how it falls with our roster as it goes. So we'll report on it as it goes. Maybe we'll have some content coming out soon, but I'm not going to put that out there until it's out there.
Shelby's like, it's in my brain right now, but when I see it happen, I will let y'all know.
Updated, but just stay tuned on that, and we'll see. It's an important offseason for sure, but they're all important. So they're already working, though. Don't worry. I think
they've been working.
Coach AC put out a tweet that said motivated the other day. I was like,
let's go.
Right, you are.
Right, say less.
So all the haters they'll have plenty to shut up about when that time comes. We get tagged in a lot of stuff this week, and I just ignore it because I'm over taking on those battles, to be honest. Like, the people
it
are
is a mental.
They don't even watch the games anyway. Anybody that watches the team, we can have a different opinion, and I'll have a conversation with you for hours. I don't care.
Yeah,
if we have different opinions, that's fine.
Yeah,
it's the ones that when you start to converse with them, it's like 100% clear that they didn't watch a single game, and you're like, you don't know what you're talking about. So those are the ones where I just don't particularly put my time into, and I would hope that people listening to this stop interacting with those people. Because all they're trying to do is farm engagement. They don't know what they're talking about. They just know that it'll bring on other people. So
I love this corner. I love this corner of Seeing Scarlet where we get advice from Shelby, because that is so true, dude. Like, and sometimes I've seen like random people talk about it too. They're like, I haven't watched this game, or I haven't watched this team, and it's just like
right there.
I mean, but that's like about anything, Are you gonna, hey, I need to fix my car. Have you ever seen a car? No. Okay, I'm gonna go somewhere else. Don't waste your time, baby. Get to going and enjoy like what some really wonderful stuff that's happening with this program. Like being on the top 10, top 8 of Aaliyah Chavez is like potential schools to go to. y'all, that is a talent of huge
Generational.
potential. Yeah, generational. And we are just seeing that so much in this season
And we
with
just
women's
had
basketball.
the Paldo twins, their class of
What
2025
the
as
heck?
well. They
I
were just on
mean,
campus, and
turn
they
up.
haven't put
They
out
got
their-
Krista Gerlich on a TikTok.
Yeah,
We're
they got her
doing
dancing. Like
we're
they
doing
interact
fine.
with our stuff all the time. So if you know that they're interacting with our stuff, they're interacting with the team stuff. Like, like I
That's
can
right.
see which recruits like actually are considering us based on their interaction. And I'm just gonna say there's some fun ones. I'm not gonna call them out like all of them one by one, but
You
when
gotta
they're
pay extra
interacting
for
with
that.
seeing Scarlet stuff, I'm like, oh, okay.
You're in good hands.
They're
You're in
keeping
good-
track
you're
of the Lady Raiders.
Yeah, that's
Like,
right.
They're in on it, you know.
Hey,
And there's
that's
some
us.
fun ones that I really, really like that have never wavered through this entire season. I mean, we've even had people interacting with our stuff, like commenting, like they're going to be okay, and I'm like, you're not even on this team yet. Like, what's up?
Yeah.
Like, let's go. and like that, I just love that. Love that from them. So
Oh, that's so true.
we just gotta see how it happens. I can't predict the
Let's do it.
future. I don't know. Obviously, next year's
How
gonna be
dare
a
you.
big year, but they're all big. This coaching staff's motivated. These players are motivated. Use this season for motivation. Off season starts now. Let's go do some things.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Why not? Say
We'll
less.
report on it as it comes. It'll probably be a busy off season. So
Yeah, no
we
kidding.
already see
Well,
they got at least 3 spots to play with. So
we hope so. Excited to see, and also excited to see women's tennis, y'all. We have a really hype clip that Shelby will get pulled up here in a minute, but I want to set the scene before you play it. So don't set the scene from this, because this happened back on March 14th. So a little bit of time has passed. And this is against number 58, Kansas. And y'all,
Jayhawks.
What we have been doing, I mean, with this is we're just learning so much about different sports and different perspectives. And I can't wait to learn even more about tennis, but we'll start here. And in this clip against number 58, Kansas, what I could read from reports of the match is that this was a back and forth brawl, and Tech got out to an early lead. Kansas came back, and then we see a walk-off type situation here with women's tennis that's really hype. And this clip is so, because you don't hear commentators, you don't hear anything other than the team's reaction. And I think sometimes I wish there was a feed that was just that. If I could get the team bench mic'd up, I know that this would never happen, but and watch it this way, I would. But yeah, play this clip and we'll talk more about the team, what they got going on. So
I didn't even know walk-offs. I mean, that's ignorant on my part. I didn't know they were possible in tennis. Look at that. Overtime, walk-offs in tennis.
Let's go. We're here for it.
To be honest, now that it's on Big 12 or 18 plus,
headphone warning.
I watched a little bit of their only loss in Big 12 play, which I know you're about to talk about their second win of the week because they had 2 wins, but they've only lost 1. They're 5-1, right? I did watch a little bit of their match with number 1 Oklahoma State a few weeks back. That was fun. So
yeah,
it's a fun sport. I mean, I've
lot of talent,
tennis before, but I don't necessarily understand the scoring system and how it works very
well. I know. I think I remember too of learning that when I was trying to watch it in the Olympics one year. And yeah, but this is such a fun team to watch and to learn from, because they have this hype of like they're storming the court, like say less. And yeah, and to see their success, and they're having Big 12 Player of the Week awards coming through this team, and so really hype
as well.
Yeah, and they're climbing the rankings. It's good things that are happening to this team, and we saw that again in their next battle of Iowa State, and they swept Iowa State 4-0. So the wins be coming, and they're earning them, and it's really cool to see some of that journey. But yeah, you're right. They're 5-1 in conference play, 12-5 overall. So excited to see them continue throughout their season. But yeah, and learning more about tennis.
Yes, I'm gonna keep learning. And one of my favorite parts about tennis is their content's really good. They put out
their
good
content is really good,
and they promote well. And then another team that does that is the women's golf team. And we don't have like much like golf news. They just started their spring season, so let them cook. The men's team, by the way, just won their tournament today. They've won 2 out of their 3 spring tournaments, so go
makes
them.
Makes sense.
And the women's golf team is heating up as well. But I just wanted to share this. It's kind of like a 2-minute video. Do we just want to show the whole thing because it's great?
Let's show the whole thing.
This is called The Lowdown. It's last name Lowe of one of the golfers, and she does this little
course called Champions.
This little media thing every once in a while.
This is awesome.
And this one is just hilarious. You get to see their personalities, and basically you can't. I don't know how well the sound is going to be, so hopefully people can hear it. But the gist of this video, in case you can't hear it perfectly, is they're trying to hit it over a river that's between. They're in Georgia, but there's a river between Georgia and South Carolina, and they're trying to hit it
how
to
funny.
South Carolina.
Oh,
It's got 3 9s, and on the first 9 we're playing today, we hit a tee shot from Georgia to South Carolina over a river and see if we can make it over.
clickbait.
So let's video everybody's shot and see who wins.
Libby, do you think you're gonna make it over the river today?
Yes, with the help of some wind. Yeah, I will.
It's like
True.
a 230
Been
carry,
there.
so we'll see. We forgot to mention that the people who don't make it over have to make a loser speech.
I'm Clara, and I did not clear the river. We thought it's over, but then it bounced back. So sorry.
Hi, I'm Maya, and I didn't clear the river, and I'll go to the gym tonight.
Hi, I'm Cameron, and I cleared the lake. Kylie's lying to herself. Thank you.
Cameron did not, in fact, clear the lake. Cue
Loser
the video.
speech.
I'm Cameron. So I actually didn't clear the river, but neither did Kylie. So, win-win.
Called out.
There's our star.
Hi, my name is
She
Lauren
did.
Zaretsky, and I bombed it over the river. My teammates didn't, but they didn't hit it hard enough.
She's her.
I'm obsessed.
Hi, I'm Kylie, and I did not clear the river either. Mine hit over and then bounced back, so I've been humbled.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
Hi, my name is Libby, and I did not make it over the lake. I did hit, in fact, a duck hook in the middle of the lake, and that's not acceptable, but I messed up.
Oh, dang. That's
I'm
that
Chelsea,
is-
and I did not clear the river. Today was a very humbling experience for myself, as I did not make it to South Carolina.
My name is Gara, and I'm really embarrassed because I cleared the river and none of my teammates did. Actually, only one teammate did.
Okay, everyone, that concludes that episode of The Lowdown. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Reckham.
Wreck 'em for real. That is.
I just felt we can't show those. I don't know why not.
That is
Why can't show them
hilarious.
every week, but I saw that one earlier and I was like, we should just share those because they pop up all the time and good content deserves to be seen. So,
That is so.
golf is putting it out, tennis is putting it out. It's good stuff.
Oh my gosh, I love the loser speech. That is amazing. I'm
And
gonna
then the
use that
commitment to
in
the
my
bid,
next.
too, to be, like,
Oh
sad
yeah,
about it.
I love that they're dunking on each other too. Like I was like, I'm really disappointed that my
Teammates suck at this game, but it's fine. We'll do better next time.
and then Lauren being like, I dropped a bombed it over. I am the best. And everybody else, that is good to see. Yeah, thank you for bringing that into the conversation. That was really good.
We'll try to like have our good content piece of the week or something if we see it, because there's a lot of teams that put out really fun content like that.
That is true.
Softball does some. They used to be doing like in dugout stuff. I haven't seen that in a couple of weeks, but I'm sure
Yeah.
they're busy.
Yeah.
And we know softball does the tumbleweed thing. That's hilarious. But the
Uh-huh.
player ones like this, I like, because one, it's good for their brand. For her to be
True.
like the lowdown, that's her
Yeah.
name.
Brilliant.
So we're doing that. Like that's
Yeah.
cool for her to get experience doing that. If media is something she wants to get into,
Raising the bar.
and
Yeah.
it's just good for the team. It gets people to see them. So I'm all about it. We'll
Me
share stuff
too.
like that when we see it.
And I
uh,
giggled. That was very funny to me.
Ryan is correct. Outdoor track did start this past week, but we didn't compete in a lot of the events because obviously we had just finished the indoor season.
Mhm.
So a lot of those people didn't compete, but we still had people going out and doing what they did.
Yeah.
And that season's gonna heat up, and let's go win another natty. I mean,
Let's-
can we get 2 in 1 year? For
Hey,
city? Is that actually
hey, I'll put it. Hey, I'll talk to the Texas Tech gods and be like, all right, listen, y'all.
Let's get 2 natties
Let's
and then
do
have an
some
Olympic
stuff.
champion. Maybe is that asking too much?
I know, I
Olympics
know.
At the end of the year.
But yeah, I think Ryan will be pumped to know that. Yeah, we're trying to get some interviews squared away.
We have some
From
track athletes we're working.
we got some people that it's gonna be cool. But yeah, exciting to see and hopefully get some people from tennis and golf. And this is our time, y'all. We're about to be in our stride. We've been striding this whole year. I don't even know what I'm talking about.
It's true.
No days off, and that
Yeah,
continues
those
to
are
be
the
true.
athletes I think would be most fun because I feel like people don't know them as much.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, let's do it. That's what we do.
All right, team. That's what we
yeah.
got. That's what we got today. Hopefully that answers some questions. We know that we are in off season for Lady Raider basketball. We get questions on it. Ask us the questions, y'all. We're not going to speculate, but we will answer questions if we know that there's news.
Yeah.
And we'll always here to help you navigate it. We've gotten some DMs from people that are getting stressed about some of the hate comments and all that. Like I said, just ignore them. Those people are going to troll. They're going to troll. You love this team, just be behind them and see how the chips fall these next few months. Like, just take the fun with it. Yeah, the portal goes both ways, but just remember that means someone else is coming in. You know what I mean? So just look forward to those bling bling posts once we get into
That's
April
right,
May,
bling bling.
those fun times ahead, and the portal doesn't close till May 1. So once you get past May 1, then we can all just rest easy and go from there. So busy times ahead for Lady Raiders, even though the season's over, and then the men's basketball team, hopefully the season's not over for a while, but they'll be in that same situation in a couple weeks as well. So
yeah,
we're here. We'll answer your questions, and hopefully we're working on some more ways to provide better coverage and content, so the context is there for you guys, because I feel like there's a lot of people that spin it to try to get clicks and hits and try to make it drama, and we feel like our role here is to just provide context. We're not going to
y'all know
smoke. If there's negative stuff happening, we're going to report on the negative stuff. But like, we're going to tell you the truth and not like put silly clickbait headlines that don't matter. And
like Sibby's going to be a comedian on tonight's show.
That's the extent of our clickbait.
Don't do
clickbait about ourselves. We will put ourselves out to dry. We will never put athletes out to dry for the sake of clicks, but we will do it to ourselves. You're welcome.
I love that. That is so us. I know. It's like sometimes it's like, y'all know by this point, and if you're watching this far into it, you know who we are and how we show up. So lots of exciting potential in the future, but also already happening right now. If you take a beat and you're like, wow, this is really cool to see this student. We've all been a student before, or we've had a connection to that age, and to understand like, wow, this is a really cool experience. How can I, as a fan, make it better? And this is what we do. So yeah, really exciting to see.
But yeah, never feel like you can't reach out. I've gotten some DMs on my personal one this week from people that are just really stressed.
Shelby,
really
you're being
a
therapist to Red Raider Nation.
No, I'm not a therapist. Do not put that on me. I don't. Therapists they're good.
The best. Y'all are the awesome.
Yeah. Like never always feel free to reach out. We'll talk you off the ledge, or we'll be honest with you if we need to. But good times ahead, y'all. There's always better times ahead for all these programs. Fun things happening. Men's going for Sweet 16 this week, hopefully.
Let's do it.
Tennis being tennis. Softball, hopefully getting right back on track. Up in Ames, watch them. Maybe they'll make the postseason. Who knows? Could be some fun times ahead. We're talking about the season winding down. What if it's heating up?
What if we're cooking?
Because softball is about to make the postseason. Who knows? We'll see. Time will tell.
That's right. Cool. Well, lots of good to see. Yeah.
Till next time.
Wreck 'em, y'all.
Rag 'em.